Perfect. All right, everyone. Thank you for showing up on time. We really greatly appreciate that.
Awesome.
All right, welcome to Wealth Wednesday. And I'm excited today because Michael Higdon out of Louisville, Kentucky, who's gosh, one of the early adopters of EXP in Kentucky when we all held hands and jumped off the cliff, I think. So it'll be 6 years coming up here soon, Michael. Can you believe that?
It'll be, yeah, it's for me. It'll be 6 years in August is my
Yeah. I was February, but yeah, I mean, it's coming up. This next year will be 6 years with EXP. So everybody welcome. We're going to record this. We'll put it into our library like anything else. This is going to be an amazing story because again, we've got a veteran real estate professional, and Michael, let's dive in. When did you go into real estate? What year was that?
2003. So this is my 20th year. Next year will be 21 years. Hard to believe. So I was previously in a corporate sales position. I sold audiovisual and presentation equipment for a national brand. Wow. And we were out of Atlanta and out of Dayton and out of all these markets. And the upper brass did some fudgy things with the numbers. And I thought, I was getting my license at the time just to buy and sell rental property for myself. And then overnight they just said, hey, we're going out of business. And so I said, well, I guess I'm in full-time real estate. And so I dumped right in and used a lot of the corporate sales techniques that I had. I just knew to go into different places, and I called on a lot of builders. And I think my first year I sold 35 houses just by calling on new construction and just, being young, somewhat young still and dumb, and just having a lot of grit and determination
and grind for sure.
Yeah.
Where did you start your real estate career day one?
Remax Properties East.
You were at Remax that entire time.
Yeah, so right out the door. And then so just walked in and was like, hey, let's start. I need a place to hang my hat. And Harold took me in and just started selling real estate and got some ideas on how to produce. And then Debbie Holloway, I don't know if you remember Debbie.
No, Debbie.
She just from a coaching standpoint, she told me to start following Mike Ferry.
Okay.
And so I tapped into the Mike Ferry training very early on. It's very highly scripted in the morning, doing a lot of role plays, and very diligent on the phones. And I'm still that disciplined every day. I do 2-3 hours every morning, still role playing, still calling all of my call list every single day. And that consistency has paid off over the last 20 years.
What did you love about being at Remax, I guess, the most as far as that business model?
I think that they let you be who you wanted to be, even, from a independent sales contractor standpoint. Harold used to say, we're all one big team here. And I'm like, no, we're not. We're we're a group of competition and contractors. I'm like, unless that guy's paying my mortgage sitting next to me, we're not on the same team. Okay. But I did like that there were some veteran agents in there that would help you grow and you could jive off with to a certain extent, but then you could go cut your teeth and do what you wanted to do, make your business the way you wanted to make it. And obviously it worked for me for 15 years because that's how long I was there.
Yeah, and that's a long time and may still be there if this EXP thing didn't come your way, right?
I mean, it was a blessing. Well, Elizabeth Monarch, who was the one that brought me in, she was recruiting me to KW for years, 2-3 years. And this is 2018. I remember it well. Because I was 95% going to KW and about to jump off that bridge. And then, but something just didn't want me to go. And then like 2 months later, I see Elizabeth Monarch goes to this company called EXP. And I called her up and I was like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I said, I almost made this move. I said, I would have killed you if I had gone to KW and then you move over here and done this. I was like, so tell me about this thing EXP. And so she called me, and then I called Tim Holland and sat down with him, and then sat down with Jay in Nashville and just kind of took the hook line. I saw these big names like Stephanie Gillison and Rick Roby and Tim Holland and all the big names in our market were moving over. I'm like, well, if these guys are looking at it and making this move and taking this step and jumping off the cliff, as you say, there's got to be some because you don't, I know you, and you would have never have made this move without it being, make business sense for you.
Absolutely. No, and you know that I'm so glad you said that, Michael, because I think too when we were all making this switch, and for those of you just joining, you know, EXP had been around in Kentucky for 6 years prior to me moving my firm over, but it had been there for 6 years with nobodies. Like nobody knew it even existed. And in 2017, sorry, in 2017, guys, stop, sorry. In 2017, 6 agents at EXP that we didn't even know existed in the state did a total of 325,000 in sales volume. 6 people sold $325,000 worth of real estate volume. That's insane. It didn't even exist. And so when Rob and John showed up at my office to show me this EXP move, I had owned my independent broker. And you know, there was no reason for me to take what I had built and move companies if it didn't make financial sense. And that's right what Michael just said, because all those phone calls that I received as we were making those moves, the Elizabeth Monarchs, the Tim Hollandens, you know, the Karen Crafts, the you name it, the list goes on, all said, this would not, I need to see what you're doing because I know you wouldn't do this if it didn't make business sense. I mean, every single one of them said it. And who brought Michael to EXP, that's probably still to this day one of my favorite phone calls I ever received, Elizabeth Monarch. It was Saturday morning, 8:03 a.m. My cell phone rings, and I'd known Elizabeth for 20 years in the real estate business. She actually was the team leader of the old KW office I used to own, okay? And when I picked up the phone and I went, "Hey, Elizabeth, how can I help you early on this Saturday morning?" She says, and when she slows down, you all, as far as she's not president of Kentucky anymore. She just her term was over, so we'll get her on this too because this is so good. "What's this EXP thing?" I mean, literally, that's what comes through the phone. What's this EXP thing? I said, "Elizabeth, how many people, being team leader at KW, have you recruited to Keller Williams?" She said, 300 some odd
A
people.
lot.
And I said, okay, outside of Louisville, because there was also the E-Town office, the Owensboro office, and up in Northern Kentucky. I said, now in total, how many people have you really brought into the KW market or KW market centers under ROP? And it was in the thousands, you guys. I said, what was your entire profit share? I said, be honest with me, because I'm going to share with you what I'm doing at EXP, but I need you to be honest with me. What was your entire profit share for all of 2017? She said $11,509. I said, I'm going to send you a screenshot of my first revenue share check with EXP. And it was almost that same amount of money, you guys. My first revenue share check, literally. And so that was the business sense right there. You know, here you have a woman who built, I mean, she truly built, and she was going after all the Michael Higdons of the world. She wasn't coming after the Stephanie Gilson because I'd already dumped KW, right? But aside from that, you know, and so that was the business sense right there of why it made that sense. So Elizabeth's trying to get you at KW. Why were you going to go from Remax to KW?
The enticement, even though our split was a little higher, and people come to EXP for different reasons. You know, we talk about the pillars of production, and you've got to be aware of what's going to turn somebody's head. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. You know, the rev share, it's very enticing to me. I looked at the Icon program, and I looked at the opportunity to buy the shares at that time. We had a 20% discount on the shares that we were buying. Now, granted, at Remax, we had a 95-5 split, right? And that 5% was a franchise fee that was going to Dave Liniger every single month. And all I got was a pat on the back and go sell more. Okay. But now I come to EXP and I'm taking that program and I'm on an 80-20 until I cap, which goes very quick when you're doing production. But I'm still taking that 5% now, and it goes in my own back pocket. And I'm getting it 20% off of what the market was. Now we're at 10%, of course, but still 10%, that's phenomenal. So if you're doing a ton of production, every single year, which I was and I still am, that really starts to add up to, oh my gosh, now I hit this icon and I'm getting awarded all my stock back. And at the time it was what, $6, $7 a share.
Mm-hmm.
And then icon once, icon twice, and I get all these rewards, and I'm still buying every single week, every closing. And that's amassed to several hundreds, thousands of dollars in stock in only, 5 years has flown
5
by.
years. Right.
But that's paid for a new basement to get done. That's paid for private schools for my kids. It's paid for cars if I wanted to buy one. It's a lot, and still keep a considerable amount, in there. But it's just another. It's house money is what I call it. It's just, if you go to the casino, we're playing with house money, and I know you're playing with a lot of house money.
But that's so true. I love what Michael just said, you guys. Think about that for a second. He was on a 95 split where he kept 95% of his commission. He had to pay the 5% because that had to go to corporate. That's the franchise
No
fee.
cap, no cap even.
Yeah, and no cap. He has to keep paying it over and over. If he does 90 deals, he's paying it on all 90 transactions. And that's going straight to Remax corporate. It's not even staying with the independent Remax owner that owns the franchise. It's going away to Dave Leninger, founder of Remax corporate. Okay. Here, he takes 5% of his commission and buys stock, which is real money, at a 10% discount. He can turn around the next day and sell it at the full price if he wanted to. But think about that. How many people has used just that line to any Remax agent out there or anyone that's at a franchise with a royalty and just spoke to that alone? Because that's huge and powerful. And until today, I haven't thought about it that way, Michael. So see, this is why we do this, you all. We do this so we can all learn. And I just...
a funny story, you can rib Elizabeth about this, because I told her the real reason, and she was not doing that. She was not setting that 5% automatically from the closings that she had. She was kind of poo-pooed it and was like, I said, listen, I said, you're going to remember that old Ron Poupée, set it and forget it about the old.
Yeah, set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it. And I said, you go back. I said, you set this and you forget it. And I said, you're going to turn around, because I know you're iconing, but you're going to turn around. This 5% is going to be more than what you're iconing in stock. And she did. And I think it took her a year, but she finally did it. And now she's doing it every time. And it's quickly amassed to a ton of stock.
You guys, and I'm glad you brought that up, Michael, because I don't know if, and this is huge right here, Tony Williams' children that, they're here at EXP. They had a daughter. What was the surgery, Kim, that she had to have?
The spine surgery.
Yeah, she got spina bifida out of the blue and had to get this surgery. And it was like going to cost just right up front $50,000. That was not in their plan. They're icon agents, but 50 grand was not in their plan. But it's their daughter that has to have it to survive. And they call Tony, his father, and they say, Dad, I don't know what we're going to do here. I don't know if we do a home equity. I don't know what we do. And Tony said, get into your stock account. They had never logged into their stock account, you guys. Get into your stock account and look and see what you've got in there, because they've been iconing and they've been buying the stock at a 5% discount. I don't want to misquote this, and we have a full-blown video on the whyglobal.com website, but didn't they have $400 and something thousand in that account?
And I think it was more than that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe more than that. Maybe it was 600,000. I don't know. It was a lot of money, you guys. Obviously, they cashed in 50, paid for their daughter's surgery, which this was several years ago, and she's amazing and doing extremely well and all that great stuff. But after we heard that conversation, I said, I need to log into mine, because I set it and forget it.
Right.
And, we're earning stock when we attract agents. Every single day, you all, sometimes I'll get 3 and 4 emails of, you have this many shares vesting, you have this many shares vesting, you have this many shares vesting, because of all the attraction that I've done. All right. And I log in, and I'm I wish I hadn't, but I did, right? And it's a lot of money. It's over it's 7 figures worth of stock because I set it and forget it a long time ago. It's huge. And we icon and all that. But I mean, it's such a great plan because look, there's a lot of people in this industry that, oh, see, that's great, Tracy. She cashed in 10K recently and paid off some bills. I mean, that's exactly what an option to have, because that option doesn't exist anywhere else, nowhere else, literally. Now somebody will say, oh, well, Real has stock. Well, it's $1.35 and they're broke. So, it's not going anywhere soon. But that is but that is exactly, a benefit right there. And that is why we have these calls too, because the sponsor may not be so savvy about the stock. Thank God, Michael, you were, right?
Yeah.
You've helped your sponsor become better at it.
Yeah, I mean, and that she better be looking at it every chance she gets now, just to see. I might get anything from her more. She hasn't sent me any more stock because I did that for her, but
I'm going to send her a text that says, you need to give Michael a Christmas present.
just 20%, just 20%.
I love it. I love it. All right, Michael. So it'll be 6 years in 2024 that you've been at EXP. Let's talk about your attraction efforts. Let's talk about, you are huge into production. You're doing a ton of business. Let's talk about, and look, we've had people on this call that haven't attracted one agent yet, and we turn this into, okay, well, let's find out how we attract. I know you've attracted agents, but how much time do you spend toward it?
Honestly, I'm not the best on and I've been consistently inconsistent on it. And that's probably been my bit of my downfall. And that's one thing that I'm really pivoting towards, because it's a different script, it's a different confidence, it's a different conversation, and it's a different system. So that's what I'm trying to sharpen for my new year and be way more intentional on bringing agents in. I've probably brought in 20 agents total in my downline, as it disseminates throughout. But again, I want to really grow that because I've slapped my hand. I haven't been, again, as intentional as I wanted to be over the last 5 years. I was in the 9,000s when I signed up, and now we're what, 90, almost 90,000 agents. So one of my goals, and again, I can call a for sale by owner all day. I can call a expired. I can call probates, estates, probates, attorneys with confidence. And calling agents is just a different conversation. It's probably something I can work on and sharpen my saw with.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, and we talk about this every week, but I think one of the things that has helped me be a better attractor is I go after people I have zero relationship with. I just know that they're successful in the industry. And then I don't care so much. I don't worry so much. I don't fret over it. I don't, I texted somebody the other day because they need to come. And he said, if this is about, and this is local to Louisville, he said, if this is about EXP, I'm telling you, I am not interested. I said, this isn't about EXP. This is about your financial situation and what is your broker doing to solve it. And the reason why I said it like that is because I looked at his numbers. Now, anybody can log into the multiple listing service and look at my numbers and say, well, shit, she doesn't do any business because I'm primarily on the commercial side, right? But this is a consistent residential agent that's where his business should be. And I watched how his numbers went down. Now, I didn't insult him, but he when he finally called me, I said, look, everybody's numbers are going down, but financially, what are you going to do to solve for it? And he goes, well, what are you doing to solve for it? That was all he needed to say, right? I loved it. It was great because it was kind of uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for anybody. But as soon as he said, well, what are you doing to solve for your numbers? It was perfect. I said, well, I don't have to worry so much anymore because this is what I'm doing. And we talk about, what revenue share's done for me. We talk about what the stock has done. We talk about these things. Most of these people can't even grasp it and understand what we're saying because they've never experienced it. Just like we couldn't really speak to it until we experienced it.
Right.
But, So I spend 90% of my time attracting agents I have absolutely no relationship with, and the other 10% of my time attracting or attempting to attract, reaching out to agents that are in this marketplace that maybe I've passed their sign, or maybe I get an email from them or something of that nature. But I always have a rule. I put them on my calendar. So if I see the sign, if I see the email, whatever I see, maybe I see them post something on Facebook or any social media, I put it on my calendar and I'll say, call Brad. And I go to my calendar, I look for the next available spot and I put it on there because I'm a person of accountability. If I don't schedule it, I'm not going to do it. Just like my phone at 4 a.m. this morning said, put clothes in dryer. Okay? We joke. We joke about that, right? But it's so true. Like I'm that calendar oriented person. And if for some reason something comes up and I don't get to text or call Brad at 2 p.m., I move him to the very next spot. Right. And if it doesn't happen at the end of the day, I'm moving to the tomorrow. And I keep doing this. And the person who taught me that was at a sprint event for EXP, I don't know, a couple years ago. And Brent Gove brought this pad of paper that he's been carrying around for 6 years. And he would make a list of 20 names that he wanted to bring to EXP. And literally, he had to reach those 20 people that day. If somebody didn't call him back, he moved them to the next day. He kept carrying them over, carrying them over, carrying them over. Well, there's no way in hell I'm ever going to be able to carry a pad of paper and come home with it because I'd just leave it somewhere. So I decided to use my calendar as that same way of doing it and actually do it. I mean, it's no different than calling a seller or calling a FSBO or calling an expired and them telling you no. You still follow up and probably do it again, right?
Right.
You just have to have that relentlessness about it. Even if it's just touching them in a way of, hey, congratulations on that sale. That's a great one. Or, whatever the case might be, you got to make deposits into the relationship. But like we talked about before this call started, the Realtor Mastermind that we did, the first one with James Harnsberger, the enrolled agent, look, that plays into, I mean, every real estate agent on the planet needs to know that, right? We need to know it for our personal being, but they need to know it for business as well. And I took that opportunity to send to agents that specialize in investment, short-term rental, commercial, whatever it is. And I said, look, this plays right into your business model. You need to watch this video. And that's all I said.
You sparked by saying that. I've had an investor buddy of mine. I've got 15 West End properties I've sold for him in the last 4 months. One of them was a multi-unit. And with that, I've met a lot of agents that I suppose probably work with a lot of investors, right? Yeah. So my goal for the rest of this week is take that video and just say, hey, I know we had a sale in the past. Apparently you work with a lot of investors. Don't know if this will be of value to you, but you should watch this and share this with your investors because it might be some tax value for them.
And when they say, wait, is this, if they say, is this about EXP? Hell no, it's not. It's a Grow Global Realtor Mastermind for every agent and broker that exists. That's what it is. And that's why we've built, Grow Global to be that, so that it's not an EXP in your face type of arrangement. But I'm telling you right now, I sent it out. 4 of them have committed. I've sent it out to about 12. 4 of them have committed. But I also onboarded 5 as of yesterday, commercial brokers with that same video.
Wow.
Yeah,
Because here's the story I tell. Hey, and this is so true. One of the guys I attracted is no shit, and we'll get him on these calls. I told him he's got to start showing up to these calls. He's already had his first closing with EXP and he's been in 10 days. But anyway, his name is Josh Pretty Man. No lie. His last name is Pretty Man. Okay.
No,
All right.
literally.
I swear to God, Josh Pretty Man. And I'm like, he is a pretty man. But anyway, his name is Josh Pretty Man. You can look him up in Workplace. But anyway, he's with Newmark, and he does triple net investments all over the country. And Newmark is a big commercial company. And I saw he had licenses in all these, like he has 7 or 13 licenses, you all. And Newmark is also an affiliate. So that meant even though he was with Newmark, he was with 7 different franchises of Newmark. He, it'd been like Michael, you joining 7 different Remaxes across the country. Very different. And so I messaged him on LinkedIn and I said, hey, I've been following your business. Congratulations. I learned something that was mind blowing. You might already know this. I've been in the business 25 years and I certainly didn't look at it from this perspective. I saved a triple net deal this week utilizing this knowledge. Watch this video when you get a chance. I didn't hear back from him for like 3 or 4 days. On a Friday night, I get a phone call from a Utah number, and I thought, I better answer it just in case, because I've been targeting that state. And so it was him. He goes, I finally watched that video. This is amazing. He goes, what is this? And I said, well, primarily, it's a mastermind that we all get together and do on Mondays. I said, a lot of times it's residential, but, I'm more on the commercial side, and this is definitely commercial. He goes, what company are you with? I said, EXP. He goes, I've heard of EXP. He goes, what's the deal? And I said, well, the split's 80-20. And once you hit 20 grand, because on EXP commercial, you hit 20 grand, you're 100%. He goes, what? What? I said, yeah, 80-20. He goes, oh my God. He goes, I need to move. Like, I need to move my license. I've got this massive deal, $184 million deal coming up. He's on a 60-40 split with Newmark.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, man.
I said, what have you paid Newmark this year?
Over
$400,000. I said, dude, you sell shit for investment. It's all about the bottom line.
Yep.
You are fucked, buddy. You better move your license. So then I'm telling him how to sign up, and he's going through the ICA. All we talked about was split and paying no more than the 20K, you all. That's it. And that it's one brokerage. So his license will be at the same brokerage, and it's just the one split and the one cap, no matter what state he's selling deals in. The other thing, so he's going through his ICA and he was like, what stock are y'all publicly traded? I go, yeah, we're publicly traded. We're on NASDAQ. He's like, is it a penny stock? I'm like, no, we're a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company, bitch, on NASDAQ. 100. In commercial, this is how we talk to each other, right?
How much do you
Yeah,
own?
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm like, bitch, no. So, but anyway, but this is as he's filling out the ICA. So this is off of that video, you guys, the video that all you have in your back pocket. So then, since he's joined, he's already had his first closing. Yesterday, another Newmark guy just joined, Derek, same scenario. Last week, 3 joined. So he's already, like, we have dismantled this Newmark office in Salt Lake City, Utah. Like, I don't know if they have anybody left now. But now we're starting on all the other Newmark offices that his license has been affiliated at, because these guys need to know one thing. How do they make more money? And this is how they make more money. They don't care about the tools. They don't care about the training. They don't care. None of that matters. They need to know how to make more money. And the 3 ways of making money was an absolute no-brainer. It made complete business sense, right?
Stephanie, do you ever get questions about the physical marketplace for them to go to, or physical office place for them to go and hang their hat with?
No, and here's why. So these guys do, deals in a lot of different areas that they're kind of like me. We meet our clients on Zoom. They don't like to leave their house. They don't want to go into the office. Prior to Newmark, they've been at Newmark 6 years. Prior to that, they were at Marcus and Millichap for like 17 years. They hate going into the office because at Marcus and Millichap, you are required to be in the office from 9 to 5 and stay on the phones. It's almost like slavery. It's almost like being a car salesman. You got to be at the dealership. You got to take out the trash. You got to show cars, but you might sell one that week, but you only make what you sell, right? So
Right.
that's kind of how M&M is. And so they've got the opposite in their brain, that they don't want to do that, right? So it plays into our model extremely well. They love that virtual aspect of it for sure.
That's great. I actually had breakfast with an agent yesterday, and he said, he's out of his house now. He's like, but he was with the local company here, and he's like, well, I miss going into the office. And I'm like, why? Well, there's a lot of agents in there. I'm like, okay, are any of them creating business for you? Or are you just going in to seek out distractions?
Oh,
And he kind of thought about it. He's like, well, I just like I like their culture there. I said, you're looking for distractions.
Right, right. Well, and that's the other thing that you do have to point out to people, and it's okay to, because they don't realize what they like about the office, but it is typically the bad habits. I mean, there's no business going on there. I do more business on Workplace than I ever did in a physical office.
right.
Isn't that true though? If
Yes.
you really
The
focus on
referral.
Workplace, yes.
Yes.
The referral location, I mean, I have to call people and text them, give them leads all the time because, hey, somebody's here looking for something all the time. And I'm there a lot. So people, and I screenshot to this person, that's Laura. I mean, everybody, that got a text from me already from some city, some state, because that's where all the business are being handled. And when you are present in the workplace, then guess what happened? They see your name. They say, oh, Michael Higdon all the time. Oh, what market you in? Now they when they think of that market, they think of you because you're contributing. So that's why I say it's so important to get, some of you guys who want to build revenue share to get on a Monday. You know what I mean? On a Monday, mastermind, find a subject that you're passionate and to talk about, because speaking established authorities, expert, like that is how you be able to attract. And once we record those video, we put all those video on whitegrowglobal.com and on YouTube. And guess what? You can use the video. I'm like, hey, I talk about this thing and you weren't there, but hey, we have another one. My business partner put together, Michael. You see him, Tracy, you do the same thing. Hey, I just spoke on this, this thing, just in case you miss it, invite them when you're about to speak. Invite, hey, get me a speak. I'm going to go and help train people. Invite people for you. We're not trying to build our own. I mean, we got it. You know what I mean? But we want to help you guys build. How do you build it? Find something expert you want to talk about and get with Stephanie and John. I mean, they really lay the hammer down, and you guys can speak on it and use the video promote. Hey, I'm going to be speaking on this day, next day, just come on, like, who are they? I'm like, oh, it's Grow Global. It's a mastermind that we are teaching agents how to listen, sell, and, in this market, in this ever-changing market. So you promote it for you, promote it to them. And it's not a one-time invitation. Invite them over and over and over. That guy that you saw is not on call today, like Kevin Duncan. He's about to join. I mean, he's like, hey, whatever you have, just let me. And I'm like, it's Wednesday. It's actually for people who already joined. He's like, I will join. I'm just waiting for 2. You get it? I mean, I know it's recording, but he's like,
Michael, this is so true. So John invites this agent to the mastermind on Monday, and she couldn't come, but she ended up telling this guy realtor friend of hers. So he's on the call and enjoying everything that he's watching. I don't even remember what week it was.
And he's like 72 years old on top of that.
Yeah, he's like, I'm ready to do this. I want to join. So he heard about it through a realtor that's not even with us that couldn't make it. Yeah, I mean, but guys, if you just say, I want to show up to this is, it's no brokerage. It's agents and brokers from all over the country.
Right.
Collaborating and bringing great content to help you grow and scale your business and be able to pivot through these different times. That's it. That's all you got to do. And if they show up, great. If they don't, keep inviting them.
Yeah.
John said it last week. He uses the Reach app, which is on iPhone, Android. He's got
Right.
a whole list of them that he's put in. It looks like it's sending a personalized text to each individual, you know, but he types it once and
Yep.
then sends the same message out to, you know, 30 people, 100 people,
Yep.
however many you want.
Yep.
And
The rich
just
app right there.
invite them.
Mhm.
And then be on the call and see if they show up. Or you know what? Don't even worry if they show up or not. Send them a follow-up message that says, hey, how'd you like that, you know, that mastermind today? And
Stephanie,
then
what are you using systems, or what kind of systems are you using to remind yourself of the agents that you know, because sometimes you may forget or somebody falls through the cracks. How are you
yes,
keying
yes.
yourself on who to follow up with?
So I'm utilizing my CRM to keep up with those people. They're just in a different bucket, right? They're, you know, they're not a client, they're not a lead, they're an agent bucket. And so that's how I'm keeping up with them. And then what I've done with all of my software and how I reach out to people, you all, is LinkedIn. That's what I use. I mean, I love that. Not everybody is going to love LinkedIn, but what helps me on LinkedIn is the fact that when they look at my profile and they see that I have 25,000 people that follow me on LinkedIn, or 26,000, whatever it is, they're like, shit, she knows her stuff. Right. So it gives me
Okay.
some, you know, notoriety, I guess, that I'm just not, you know, so depending on what platforms you're going to use, make sure your profile looks who you are, right? It looks stellar. And you can use AI to write your resume and all that stuff. But, you know, that's what I utilize. So anybody that I'm communicating with in LinkedIn, I built a Zap, which Zapier is an automation. Anybody can get a Zapier. You can get 10 free, I think. I have we use Zapier for a lot of things inside of our business. And so I have one that zaps to a Google sheet, and then that Google sheet automatically puts them into my CRM.
Which CRM do you use?
So I use, it's called Agent Hub, but it's a high level platform. Now with the Grow Global, we're trying to work on something that we can get consistent. It's just not done yet.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit.
We're all working on it diligently on that,
Yeah.
you know.
But don't wait for that.
Don't wait for that.
Do your system. If you use follow up boss, do it. Use KV Core. KV Core is a great one. If as long as you know, keep them separate from, you don't want your KV Core agent attraction leads getting sent. Are you looking to buy a home?
Exactly. Who is this guy?
Exactly.
Don't be that guy. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I mean, you know, even if you're keeping track on a spreadsheet, you guys, seriously, just do it. You know, a few weeks ago, and this will be in the whygrowglobal.com in the library, but I did we didn't interview anybody that week, and I went through the list of everything you need to do to be serious about
Yep.
attraction. And the number one thing you need to do is make a list of 200. And the reason why that number, okay,
Yep.
great. So you make a list of 200 because
Yep.
you know 200 realtors.
Yep.
Look, on my Facebook, like I'm connected with so many damn realtors, it's crazy. And so my goal this year is I've moved, like anybody not with EXP, that I have put them on my sheet. If I got to see their content on Facebook, they're going to hear from me, right? That's what I'm going through my mind with. And so that's going to be my opening statement. Hey, we've been connected on Facebook for however long. I'm seeing your content. I'd love to have, a 15 or 30-minute Zoom with you when you get a chance. Here's a link to my calendar. And you know what? If they reply back and say, well, why? I'm going to say, well, let's see what kind of business we can collaborate on. Right? Because this is what we're doing, is collaborating, right? And if they say, well, I see you're with EXP and I'm not interested in EXP, then I'm going to reply back and go, well, I wasn't going to have a conversation about EXP. I was going to talk about business planning with a fellow realtor. But since you make assumptions, I will be unfriending you because I don't need to be in business with people like you. I will. I swear to God, I will. I
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you know what I'm saying, you all? So that's the thing. I mean, you just have to do it. We will never attract everybody. We know that. But move on. Like that's the thing. I mean, if something negative takes place, I just move on from it and it makes me work harder at the next one.
Yep. But just the kids just keep doing it and plugging in. And like, so this Friday, 10 o'clock facilitator meetings, you know, like for some of us and who want to participate in, you know, this is wide open. If you're interested, like, hey, Kim, I want to participate in it, right? Let me and Stephanie know about it, you know, because the group is pretty much leading the Grow Global. That's pretty much it. That's what we call facilitators. Nobody's a leader. Nobody's over anybody. We are facilitating this movement together to help ourselves grow locally and, you know, nationally and globally. That's why Grow Global, you know, we're here to help everyone grow their business, grow their network, and grow their life. But we don't do this alone. I mean, try to grow this your organization alone and try to do everything. No, we want to come together. Right, Stephanie? Tell them.
Well, exactly. And you know what? We just brought on a group, and Michael, this is in, I think it's down in your group. I don't know how far down these people are coming on to my level 7, guys. This is
Okay.
how deep we're getting under my organization, which I love because I'm open on all levels. I
Yep.
love it anyway, even if I wasn't open on those levels.
Yeah.
But you know, a guy that you know had every excuse in the world. Well, I'm not you, Stephanie. Well, I'm not Kim. Well, I'm not Rob Campbell. Well, I'm not. I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up. Excuse me, but that's the truth. Just
Yeah.
stop whining. Reach out and make these calls. When you were at KW, who in the heck outside of Kentucky did you resonate with? Did you leave an impression on? Did any of that? I want you to think hard and put them on a sheet of paper. And you know what he did? And guess what? He just brought the first few over, and we think there'll probably be 16 or 17 because I did get a little bit hard with him. But there's no excuse. If you just do the work, just the work. And the work is not hard, guys. It's actually fun. I love when somebody says yes. Of course, we all love to win, right? Yes, win. I love when I'm told no because it just fires me up to go seek the yes again, you know? And so I love both. And sometimes intentionally, I'll call people that I know is going to rip my ass. And I like that too.
To feel a little pain, you know, but it moves us, you know, but you never know that this right timing, then people turn around. Like that Kelvin guy, I've been on him for like 4 years. You see him on the car several times. I've been on him for 4 or 5 years, you know, literally. And he was going to try to recruit me to Keller Williams, you know, and I'm like, you know, and I didn't even recruit him at all. I say, hey, we have this mastermind, you should, you know, come and see, you know, and so I'm never going to hit him straight at all until I want to lunch and, you know, several lunch before I do really like, okay, now you really got to do, I got to build a relationship with them like anything. It's been a 4 years relationship with that Kevin guy that he's coming on this week, you know, and like, so it wasn't like immediately, you know, we don't go on and have somebody have $80 million and try to move over like Stephanie, but we are doing something and we one day will get one of those, you know, and we prepare for all.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, great call, Michael. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Great nuggets from Michael. This was great.
Well, you guys have great insight on everything. Thanks for answering the questions and gave me some bait to go fishing with this week, and I'll let you know how that turns out.
Please.
And Wednesday, Friday, we're gonna text you on the facilitator call.
Please do.
So Brad,